From hidden tombs to lost temples, the ancient Egyptians left behind a legacy full of unanswered questions. These are just few of the many unsolved mysteries that surround the incredible civilization of ancient Egypt. The Great Pyramid of Giza isn't just a massive structure, it's a testament to ancient Egypt's brilliance. Built around 4,500 years ago, this colossal tomb stands at a staggering 481 feet tall and is made up of over 2 million limestone blocks, some of which weigh as much as 15 tons. My back hurts just thinking about that. But how did the Egyptians manage to build such a colossal structure with such precision that long ago? Did they use ramps, pulleys, or something else entirely? Early theories suggested ramps, but none of them fully explain just how the blocks were moved into place or how they achieved such perfect alignment with the cardinal points of the compass. The Great Pyramid is so precisely aligned, even modern builders would struggle to match it. Trust me, I live in Toronto. I've watched them build the same subway station for 8 years straight. Still not done. Perhaps what it was back then was that the ancient Egyptians had access to knowledge that was either lost or never documented in the first place. Some researchers speculate that the pyramid could have been part of an ancient system of knowledge, now lost to time, that we may never fully understand. The more we learn, the more questions arise. Cleopatra VII, the last pharaoh of Egypt, and her lover, Roman general Mark Antony, remain one of the most famous figures in history. After they tragically, supposedly took their own lives in 30 BC, they were believed to have been buried together in this lavish tomb somewhere near Alexandria. Yes, somewhere out there. Good luck, grab a shovel. Despite the best efforts of archaeologists and historians, no one's ever found their final resting place yet. The tomb is thought to be hidden beneath the Mediterranean, with some experts suggesting that it was deliberately concealed to protect it from looters, ergo us now. Could the tomb be submerged, or is it still hidden somewhere beneath the sands, just waiting to be discovered? The search continues day after day as the lost tomb of Cleopatra and Antony remains one of Egypt's greatest unsolved riddles. If you found it, would you open it? The so-called Curse of the Pharaohs gained notoriety after the discovery of King Tut's tomb in 1922. A series of mysterious passings among the members of the excavation team, including the sudden passing of Lord Carnarvon, the tomb's financial backer, of course sparked rumors of this curse placed on those who dared to disturb the pharaoh's final resting place. I kind of believe in this curse. Honestly, if curses are real in some degree, this has got to be one of them. While many believe these passings were simply coincidences or the result of exposure to bacteria, others are convinced that there's more to the story. Did the ancient Egyptians really believe that their tombs held supernatural powers capable of punishing grave robbers and explorers? While most historians dismiss the curse as a superstition, it's impossible to deny the strange coincidences surrounding these events. The idea of supernatural forces protecting royal tombs adds an eerie layer to Egypt's already weird mystical history. The Book of the Deceased is one of the most important texts in Egyptian culture, a collection of spells and rituals designed to guide the dearly departed through the underworld and into the afterlife. Now, while we may have examples of these texts, small little teases, the true meaning and full significance of this book still remain a mystery. The rituals described within it were thought to help the deceased navigate trials, face divine judgment, and eventually, hopefully, be granted access to eternal life. But how did the Egyptians believe this book worked? Was it simply a symbolic representation of their hopes, or did they believe that by following these spells, they could truly interact with the gods? The book's complexity and the varied interpretations of its spells suggested it was more than just a guide. It was a key to unlocking the divine. The Great Sphinx of Giza is one of the most recognizable symbols of Egypt, right? We saw this on our math textbooks for some reason. But what lies beneath it? Ancient texts referred to this mysterious chamber hidden beneath the Sphinx's paws, possibly containing treasure or lost knowledge. Now, despite extensive exploration and attempts to uncover these hidden spaces, no definitive evidence has ever been found. Again, yet. Some believe that the Sphinx could be much older than traditionally thought, perhaps even predating the pyramids themselves, believe it or not, suggesting it might have been guarding secrets from an even earlier civilization. Others propose that the Sphinx holds the key to understanding an ancient cosmic or spiritual system. Until these chambers are actually found, the Sphinx's silent gaze remains an enduring mystery. Mummification is one of the most iconic aspects of ancient Egypt, and it's also pretty disgusting. But how did the Egyptians perfect the art of preserving the past? The process of mummification was essential for the journey to this afterlife that I talked about, but the techniques the Egyptians used still baffle modern scientists. While we know that resins, oils, and wrapping techniques were employed, there's still so much to learn about how the Egyptians managed to preserve bodies for thousands of years. Thousands of years! That's crazy. Some researchers suggest that the Egyptians might have had advanced knowledge of chemistry and biology, far beyond what we'd expect from their time. But how do they manage to achieve such remarkable preservation, sometimes even down to the cellular level? That part makes no sense. The art of mummification is one of the greatest technical mysteries of ancient Egypt. For centuries, the pyramids have been thought to serve as tombs for all of these pharaohs, but some researchers propose a more complex function. The sheer scale and alignment of the pyramids suggest they might have served as energy generators, astronomical observatories, or even symbolic representations of the sun's rays. There's also the possibility that the pyramids were part of a much larger cosmic design, connected to the stars and the cycles of the heavens. Yeah, it's a lot to take in. Some even argue that they may have been used for ritual purposes or to mark sacred locations. Now, despite the overwhelming evidence that the pyramids were tombs, their precise purpose does remain an open question, with new theories emerging all the time, just like these pharaohs. Greek historians spoke of a labyrinth near the pyramid complex of Hawara, a vast underground network of chambers and passageways filled with treasures and inscriptions. Now, despite many attempts, the labyrinth has never been found, and some believe it may have been destroyed or hidden over time. Could it still be buried beneath the sands of Egypt, just waiting to be uncovered by us? Now, if the labyrinth did indeed ever exist, it could hold valuable insights into the religious practices, culture, and the history of ancient Egypt, perhaps even revealing clues about the origins of the pyramids themselves. That would be a pretty neat find. The Egyptians worshipped a pantheon of gods and goddesses. There's all many shapes and sizes, they're all unique and cool, each representing different aspects of life and nature. But where did these gods come from? Were they inspired by earlier lost civilizations, or were they symbolic representations of natural forces like, say, the sun, the Nile, or even the earth itself? Now, despite years of study, the origin of Egypt's gods still remains a mystery. Some scholars believe that the gods were based on real historical figures and or events, while others propose that they were entirely mythological. Now, what is clear now, however, is that these gods played an essential role in the daily lives of ancient Egyptians, and understanding their true origin could of course unlock deeper insights into Egyptian culture as a whole. After thriving for over 3,000 years, ancient Egyptian civilization eventually it began to decline. Now, the reasons behind this fall are still a matter of debate. Some historians point to invasions from foreign armies like the Hyksos or the Persians, while others argue that internal factors such as political instability, famine, and environmental changes also played a significant role. Now, despite Egypt's enduring strength and wealth, the ultimate cause of its decline still remains elusive. Some believe it was a combination of internal and external pressures, while others think that it was natural evolution of the civilization's power and influence over time. Now, regardless, the end of one of history's greatest civilizations is still shrouded in mystery. There's much more to come.
This list, in our number 10 spot, we have the unlucky mummy. The unlucky mummy isn't actually a mummy at all. It's a hauntingly beautiful painted wooden mummy board of an unidentified woman tucked away in the British Museum in London. But if walls could talk, the tales this artifact would tell might send shivers down your spine. Back in its early days at the museum, staff members began reporting unsettling occurrences. Loud banging noises echoed through the exhibit halls at night, seemingly emanating from the mummy board itself, as if something trapped within was desperate to break free. One intrepid photographer decided to capture its image, but when he developed the photo, he was met with a horrifying surprise. The serene face on the mummy board appeared twisted into a malevolent grimace, eyes glaring with otherworldly intensity. The eerie events escalated when a museum guard was found dead under mysterious circumstances after his night shift near the artifact. Whispers of a curse began to circulate among the staff, and the museum allegedly couldn't get rid of the mummy board fast enough. It said they sold it to an American archaeologist who arranged for its transport to the United States aboard none other than the Titanic. Some believe that the cursed mummy board sealed the ship's fate, its malevolent energy contributing to the tragic sinking that shook the world. In our number 9 spot today, we have the Osiris statue. In 1971, deep within the sands of Saqqara, an experienced Egyptologist unearthed a small yet mesmerizing statue of Osiris, the ancient Egyptian god of death. The artifact was remarkably well preserved, its intricate details capturing the solemn gaze of the deity as if time had scarcely touched it. As dusk settled, the archaeologist and his assistant returned to their modest quarters in a nearby village. Drawn by the statue's mysterious allure, he decided to keep it with him for further study. Later that evening, he headed to the bathroom to freshen up after the grueling day, and moments passed before his assistant was jolted by harrowing screams echoing from the bathroom. Rushing in, he found the archaeologist gripping the sink basin, his face etched with sheer terror. Quote, "He stood there as if paralyzed," the assistant recalled. Quote, "I grabbed him by the shoulders and guided him to the couch. Then I ran to call for help." Medical professionals arrived to find the archaeologist stricken with sudden paralysis on the right side of his body, his speech lost to an inexplicable affliction. Despite their efforts, he passed away the very next day. Whispers began to circulate among the locals and the archaeological community. Had the statue of Osiris unleashed an ancient curse? Tales of doom befalling those who disturb sacred relics resurfaced, casting a shadow over the discovery. Was it a mere coincidence, or did the god of death extend his reach from the realm of the dead to claim another soul? In our number 8 spot today, we have the Egyptian relic. In 2007, a chilling tale unfolded involving a German man who visited the legendary Valley of the Kings near Luxor. Enticed by the allure of ancient history, he pocketed a small, intricately carved Egyptian relic as a keepsake from his trip, but what seemed like a harmless souvenir soon became a harbinger of doom. Upon his return to Germany, he was struck by an inexplicable fatigue and fever that baffled doctors. His condition rapidly deteriorated into paralysis, and shockingly, he passed away soon after. Before his death, or perhaps just after, his stepson received the artifact along with a desperate plea. Believing that a pharaoh's curse had claimed his stepfather, the stepson anonymously returned the stolen carving to the Egyptian embassy in Berlin, hoping to restore peace to his family's tormented spirits. This eerie incident mirrors the notorious legends of curses befalling those who disturb Egyptians' tombs, like the mysterious deaths that followed the opening of King Tut's tomb. Could it be that an ancient curse still lingers, waiting to unleash their wrath on unsuspecting souls? In our number 7 spot today, we have the mummies. In 1699, a Polish nobleman embarked on a voyage from Alexandria, his ship's hold carrying an unusual treasure: 2 ancient Egyptian mummies he intended to study for their reputed medicinal properties. As the vessel navigated the serene waters of the Mediterranean Sea, an unsettling atmosphere descended upon the crew. Late at night, the nobleman began experiencing eerie visions, spectral figures drifting through the shadows of the ship, their eyes hollow and fixed upon him. Whispered voices echoed in the corridors, and unexplained chills ran down the spines of seasoned sailors. Realizing that the mummies might be the source of these otherworldly occurrences, he made a swift decision. Under the cloak of darkness, the mummies were cast overboard into the depths of the sea. No worries about the history there. Remarkably, as soon as the waves swallowed the ancient remains, the haunting ceased and an uneasy calm returned to the ship. This chilling account, recorded by Louis Pennecher in his treatise on embalming, leaves one to wonder, did the restless spirits of the mummies seek vengeance for their disturbed slumber? It's tales like these that blur the line between history and the supernatural, reminding us that some artifacts might carry more than just the weight of the past. In our number 6 spot today, we have King Amos I's mummy. In the lively halls of the Egyptian Museum in Cairo, a young boy grappling with a severe illness found himself irresistibly drawn to the ancient wonders on display. Amidst the towering statues and glittering artifacts, he paused before the mummy of King Amos I. As he locked eyes with the pharaoh's preserved visage, something incredible happened. A warm sensation washed over him, and a newfound energy surged through his body. Miraculously, his long-standing ailment began to fade, leaving doctors completely confused by his sudden recovery. Filled with awe and gratitude, the boy immersed himself in the world of ancient Egypt, eager to uncover more of its timeless mysteries. Could this mummy have possessed healing powers, or was this just a remarkable coincidence? In our number 5 spot today, we have the Dagger of Thutmose III. The Dagger of Thutmose III is more than just an ancient artifact. It is a chilling legend that has captivated historians. This ceremonial dagger, belonging to one of Egypt's greatest warrior pharaohs, is crafted from an iron meteorite, giving it an uncanny aura as if forged from the stars themselves. Discovered hidden away in a secret chamber beneath a forgotten temple, the blade remains impossibly sharp, its surface etched with hieroglyphs that no scholar has been able to fully decipher. Tales abound of those who have dared to hold the dagger. Archaeologists and tomb raiders who met mysterious and untimely ends shortly after coming into contact with it. Accidents, sudden illnesses, and inexplicable disappearances have all been linked to this mysterious weapon, fueling whispers of a pharaoh's curse that transcends millennia. Is the dagger merely a relic of a bygone era, or does it serve as a deadly conduit for ancient vengeance? In our number 4 spot today, we have the curse of Tutankhamun's tomb. In 1972, the eerie whispers surrounding King Tut's curse stirred once more, capturing the world's imagination. To honor the 50th anniversary of the tomb's legendary discovery, a collection of the young pharaoh's artifacts was set to journey from Cairo to the British Museum in London. The night after overseeing the delicate handling of these ancient treasures, the director of antiquities at the Cairo Museum unexpectedly passed away, sending shockwaves through the archaeological community. Rumors swirled that the curse had claimed yet another victim, but of course the ominous events didn't stop there. The crew aboard the aircraft transporting the artifacts began experiencing inexplicable misfortunes. 3 airmen who had interacted with the relics suffered sudden heart attacks shortly after the flight. Each year, on the exact anniversary of the flight with King Tut's possessions, he endured a heart attack until the final one proved fatal. Was the pharaoh's curse reaching out from the sands of time to exact vengeance on those who disturbed his eternal slumber? In our number 3 spot today, we have Qam Abu Bilo. The tale of renowned Egyptologist Zahi Hawass takes a haunting twist when connected to the mysterious site of Qam Abu Bilo. One day, while transporting ancient artifacts from this archaeological dig, Hawass received devastating news. His aunt had suddenly passed away. Exactly 1 year later, on that same unsettling date, his uncle died unexpectedly. This pattern didn't stop there. The following year, again on the identical day, his favorite cousin met an untimely end. The eerie sequence of events couldn't be ignored, and soon newspapers buzzed with whispers that the curse of the pharaohs had targeted his family. Although he personally dismissed these claims, stating, quote, "Fortunately, there is really no such thing," the chilling coincidences left many wondering whether some ancient curse had been unleashed. Could the artifacts from this site carry a malevolent force that transcends time, or were these tragedies merely ill-fated coincidences? In our number 2 spot today, we have Kentika Ikaki's curse. Deep within the ancient sands of Saqqara lies the tomb of Kentika Ikaki, an official from Egypt's mysterious 6th dynasty. This burial site isn't just a relic of the past, it's wrapped in spine-chilling legends that have intrigued and terrified adventurers for centuries. Etched into the very stone of his mastaba is a haunting warning, quote, "As for all men who shall enter this tomb impure, there will be judgment. I shall seize his neck like a bird, and I shall cast the fear of myself into him." These aren't mere words, they're a formidable curse aimed straight at the hearts of would-be tomb raiders. Stories swirl about those who ignored this dire message. Explorers met with sudden, unexplainable misfortunes after trespassing. Some say his spirit still guards his resting place, ready to unleash dread upon anyone who dares to disturb his peace. And finally, in our number 1 spot today, we have Ankh-Tifi's curse. Deep within Egypt's shifting sands rests the tomb of Ankh-Tifi, a provincial governor from the chaotic First Intermediate period, time where the Old Kingdom's unity was fracturing. His burial site isn't just a monument to his status, but a fortress guarded by some very ominous words. Etched into the very stone is a stern warning, quote, "Any ruler who shall do evil or wickedness to this coffin, may Hemen not accept any goods he offers, and may his heir not inherit." The ancient Egyptians believed such curses held genuine power, calling upon the gods to protect the deceased and unleash divine wrath upon defilers. Tales whisper of those who dared to violate his tomb, only to suffer inexplicable misfortune, sudden illnesses, financial ruin, even untimely deaths. Ankh-Tifi's tomb stands as a chilling testament to how the spiritual and physical worlds were intertwined, using the threat of supernatural retribution to safeguard eternal rest.
This guy paraglided over the Egyptian pyramids. Take a look at this. Just earlier this month, a 35-year-old paramotor pilot named Yanis Terzis flew over some famous Egyptian landmarks, including the Great Pyramid of Giza and the Sphinx. It's incredibly breathtaking footage, and I am incredibly jealous of this man. At one point, he got up close enough to see the symbols etched onto the top. That is incredible. That's a part of the pyramids we never get to see. I didn't even know there was stuff written on the top until today. As Terzis stated, most of the paramotor pilots fly high for safety precautions. Sometimes I like to get a little bit risky on my flights and go close to the ground and over the building to get amazing shots and videos. And an amazing video he got. He also went on to say, on the pyramid flight, I had the intention of touching my foot tip over the pyramids. That was something unique that I'm going to remember for the rest of my life.
وأحب أن أؤكد أننا مستمرين في العمل.
That was Ahmed Issa, the Egyptian Minister of Tourism and Antiquities, talking about a discovery that had just been made in the Great Pyramid of Giza, a hidden corridor that had been sealed off for thousands of years. Using advanced scanning technology, researchers revealed a hidden corridor that measures about 9 meters long and 2 meters wide. This corridor is located on the northern side of the pyramid, just above the main entrance, and it's sealed off, meaning it can't be accessed from the outside. It's believed to date back about 4,500 years. The discovery was announced by Ahmed Issa and the famous Egyptian archaeologist Zahi Hawass during a ceremony held at the pyramid. The Scan Pyramids project, which uses cutting-edge scanning methods to explore unexplored areas of the pyramids, was responsible for uncovering this chamber. Experts from France, Japan, Germany, and Canada collaborated on this project using 5 non-invasive techniques to analyze the structure without disturbing it. Still waiting for an update on this story. At this point, we still don't know what was actually hidden in the corridor, if anything, and we don't really know what it was used for, but they're still looking into it. Hopefully we'll get an update soon. Just back in May, a team of researchers from Japan and Egypt uncovered what they're calling an underground anomaly while studying the area beneath the Western Cemetery of the Giza Pyramid Complex. The Western Cemetery, which is located close to the Great Pyramid, contains a bunch of mastabas, which are rectangular tombs made of limestone or mud. But one section of the cemetery has been largely untouched, a flat area without any visible structures. Curious about what might be buried there, the research team used ground-penetrating radar and electrical resuscitivity tomography, or ERT, to scan the ground. And they noticed this odd density under the surface, as if something man-made had been buried below. The researchers identified 2 distinct underground structures, one shallow and one deep. The shallow structure is L-shaped, just under 2 meters deep. The deeper structure is even more mysterious. The team is seeking to excavate the site to find out what these structures are. Who knows what they'll find down there? All I know is I am impatiently waiting. The biggest mystery about the pyramids, and really one of the biggest mysteries in the world, is how they were built. There have been some interesting theories over the years, but just back in May, scientists made a huge breakthrough. A research team from the University of North Carolina, Wilmington, thinks they've found clues to a long-lost branch of the River Nile, now buried beneath desert and farmland. A river that might have played a big role in transporting material for the pyramids. For years, archaeologists have suspected that the ancient Egyptians used a nearby waterway for transporting heavy stone blocks, but they didn't really know where this river could have been. To uncover the mystery, the research team combined radar, satellite imagery, historical maps, geophysical surveys, and sediment coring to create this detailed map of the river branch. The area is thought to have been buried by a major drought and sandstorms thousands of years ago. Radar technology allowed the researchers to penetrate the sand surface and produce images of hidden features, revealing buried rivers and ancient structures near where many pyramids are located. The river branch, dubbed the Aramat branch, Aramat meaning pyramids in Arabic, was found to border 31 pyramids built between 4,700 and 3,700 years ago. This means that the river was likely used to help transport material for the pyramids. Dr. Suzanne Onstein, a co-author of the study, stated that locating the actual river branch and having the data that shows there was a waterway that could be used for the transport transportation of heavier blocks, equipment, people, everything really helps us explain pyramid construction. She went on to explain that the river would have allowed the ancient Egyptians to, quote, use the river's energy to carry these heavy blocks rather than human labor. Back in September of 2023, a bunch of hidden chambers were found in an ancient Egyptian pyramid. This pyramid, built around 4,400 years ago for Pharaoh Sahur, is located in the Abusir necropolis in northern Egypt. The pyramid has been undergoing restoration since 2019 to stabilize it and clean out its interiors. And as workers were clearing away debris from a collapsed corridor, they stumbled on these hidden chambers. The spaces were likely storage rooms, which might not sound as thrilling as finding a hidden treasure, but they're important for understanding how the pyramid was designed and used. The pyramid's tunnels have been blocked since its first excavation in 1836, and now, almost 2 centuries later, researchers had access to areas that have been hidden for ages. What you're looking at here is a massive 100-ton artifact, dubbed a black box, found in a cave system about 12 miles south of the Great Pyramid of Giza. This is just one of 24, and we still don't know exactly what these thousands-of-year-old boxes were built for. They're made of solid Aswan granite. Again, they're incredibly heavy, and it's not even clear how these things were carved and transported. The engineering is remarkable, too. These things are smooth as tabletops on the inside and outside. They also have hieroglyphics carved into them. Question has always been, though, how were these incredibly heavy slabs of stone transported from rock quarries to their current location? Just another unsolved mystery of ancient Egypt. Back in 2020, archaeologists made a huge find in a necropolis south of Cairo. They uncovered dozens of ancient coffins. Khalid El-Anani, Egypt's antiquities minister at the time, said that at least 59 sealed sarcophagi were discovered, most containing mummies, buried over 2,600 years ago in 3 wells. The discovery was announced at the iconic step pyramid of Djoser in Saqqara, where the coffins were displayed. At the event, one sarcophagus was opened in front of reporters. Saqqara is home to at least 11 pyramids and a number of tombs from different eras. And these recently found coffins belong to priests, top officials, and elites. Among the finds were 28 statues of Ptah and a bronze statue of the god Nefertim, inscribed with the name of its owner, a priest named Babi Amun. Alright, this next one's actually pretty entertaining. Just a little reminder that people never really change. Recent findings reveal that ancient Egyptians had a very unique way of tracking employee time off. A limestone tablet known as an ostrakon, housed in the British Museum and dating back to 1250 BCE, gives us a glimpse into the work-life balance of ancient Egyptians. This tablet lists 40 workers and details the days they missed, along with reasons given like illness and family duties. The absences are organized by season and date. For instance, on month 4, winter day 24, a worker named Pandub missed his shift because his mother wasn't feeling well and he had to take care of her. Of course, a lot of workers took off work because they were sick or injured. One name that's listed is Hainafer, who had eye troubles. There's also Seba, who was bitten by a scorpion. And another reason for not coming into work was brewing beer. This actually shows up a number of times. Beer was a staple drink in Egypt and was actually considered a meal. Anyway, just goes to show that people struggled with their work-life balance just like we do today. Although I don't think calling into work because you're brewing beer is gonna go over very well today. What you're looking at here is Pharaoh Khufu's sarcophagus. It may not look like much, but it's actually an incredibly impressive piece of engineering. It was made from a single piece of granite weighing about 3.75 tons. It's so large that it couldn't have been brought into the burial chamber after the pyramid was completed, so it had to have been placed there during the pyramid's construction. And what makes this sarcophagus even more impressive is that it was hollowed out from the inside, and it has holes that look like they were made with some kind of drill. So the question is, how did people in ancient times with what we think were primitive tools manage to create something like this? The effort and skill needed to make Khufu's coffin, like so many other constructions from ancient Egypt, just seems very ahead of its time. In 2015, something unusual was detected at the Great Pyramid using thermal cameras. Researchers found higher temperatures in 3 stones at the bottom of the pyramid. The Egyptian Antiquities Ministry had a few possible explanations for these heat spots. You figured they could be empty spaces within the pyramid, internal air currents, or just variations in the building materials that were used. Of course, there were also fun theories that the heat was being given off by ancient technology buried deep beneath the pyramids. Experts had been actively searching for hidden chambers in the pyramids. A team of architects and scientists from Egypt, France, Canada, and Japan conducted the thermal survey using sunrise and sunset. So they took advantage of the temperature changes as the sun heated the limestone and then allowed it to cool down. The ministry found that there were these thermal anomalies during their observations. One heat spot was found on the eastern side of the Great Pyramid. The stones there showed a distinct difference in temperature compared to others, hinting at something beneath the surface. This discovery was what eventually led to the Operation Scan Pyramids project, where they found that hidden corridor in the Pyramid of Giza that I mentioned earlier.
Starting this list off today in our number 10 spot, we have the tomb of Herihor. Amidst the towering columns and sacred halls of the Karnak temple complex, the elusive tomb of Herihor continues to captivate historians. Herihor was no ordinary figure. Originally a high priest of the Amun, he boldly declared himself pharaoh during Egypt's tumultuous Third Intermediate Period. Yet, despite his audacious rise to power, little evidence of his burial site has ever been found. Some speculate that his tomb could be hidden within a secret chamber of Karnak itself, filled with treasures and inscriptions that chronicle a time of political intrigue and religious upheaval. Others wonder if his final resting place was deliberately concealed to protect his legacy from rivals. The discovery of Herihor's tomb could unlock a treasure trove of artifacts and scrolls, shedding light on a shadowy chapter of Egyptian history. As each new expedition delves into the ancient ruins, the possibility of unearthing this lost tomb adds a layer of excitement and mystery. Could the next turn of a dusty corridor finally reveal the secrets of the self-made pharaoh who dared to redefine his destiny? In our number 9 spot today, we have the Lost Labyrinth of Egypt at Hawara. Hidden beneath the sands near the Fayum oasis, the Lost Labyrinth of Egypt at Hawara remains one of the most tantalizing mysteries of the ancient world. Described by historians like Herodotus as a colossal underground complex with thousands of rooms and winding passages, it's said to have rivaled even the grandeur of the pyramids. While archaeologists have uncovered some remnants that hint at its existence, the labyrinth itself remains largely unexplored and unopened. Legends speak of vast halls adorned with hieroglyphs that could unlock secrets of forgotten dynasties, or perhaps even chambers guarding untold treasures and mystical artifacts. Some theories suggest it was designed as a giant puzzle intended to protect sacred knowledge from falling into the wrong hands. The mere thought that such an architectural marvel lies waiting to be rediscovered definitely ignites the imagination. Could the Lost Labyrinth be the key to unraveling mysteries that have eluded us for millennia? In our number 8 spot today, we have the Big Void in the Great Pyramid of Giza. Hidden within the towering limestone blocks of the Great Pyramid of Giza, there is a massive unexplored cavity known as the Big Void. Discovered in 2017 through the innovative use of muon radiography, a technique that detects particles from cosmic rays, the void sits mysteriously above the Grand Gallery. Its sheer size suggests it wasn't an accidental space or a simple architectural flaw. Could it be a secret chamber built to house untold treasures or sacred texts from a bygone era? Some speculate it might even be a concealed passageway designed to protect the pharaoh's journey to the afterlife. The lack of access points has kept this mystery sealed off from the world, fueling countless theories and a sense of wonder. As we stand on the brink of new technological breakthroughs, the possibility of uncovering what lies within the Big Void keeps the world eagerly watching Egypt's ancient sands. In our number 7 spot today, we have the hidden chambers of Tutankhamun's tomb. Nestled Nestled deep within the Valley of the Kings, Tutankhamun's tomb has dazzled the world ever since its discovery in 1922, but recent radar scans have reignited the excitement by hinting at hidden chambers adjacent to the young pharaoh's burial site. Some archaeologists speculate that these secret rooms could be the untouched resting place of Queen Nefertiti, one of ancient Egypt's most mysterious figures. The possibility of uncovering new treasures and untold stories has the archaeological community buzzing. Could these concealed chambers hold the key to mysteries that have puzzled historians for decades? As technology advances, the anticipation builds, and the sands of Egypt may yet reveal more of their timeless secrets. In our number 6 spot today, we have the tomb of Imhotep. Deep within the ancient sands of Saqqara lies one of Egypt's most captivating mysteries, the undiscovered tomb of Imhotep. Known as the brilliant architect who designed the Step Pyramid, the world's first colossal stone structure, Imhotep was so revered that he was deified after death, a rare honor bestowed upon few mortals. Yet, despite his monumental impact on history, his burial site has never been found. Archaeologists speculate that unearthing his tomb could reveal groundbreaking insights into Old Kingdom Egypt, possibly containing ancient scrolls detailing the origins of pyramid construction or medicinal texts that predate modern knowledge. Some even whisper about hidden chambers filled with artifacts that could rewrite everything we know about ancient engineering. The quest to find his tomb isn't just about locating a lost grave, it's a race to uncover secrets that have been buried for over 4 millennia. In our number 5 spot today, we have the lost tomb of Cleopatra and Mark Antony. Somewhere along the sun-soaked shores near Alexandria, or hidden beneath the ancient ruins of Taposiris Magna, lies the elusive tomb of Cleopatra and Mark Antony, cloaked in legend and intrigue. As Egypt's last pharaoh and her Roman lover, their dramatic love story ended in tragedy, and their final resting place has become one of history's most tantalizing mysteries. Archaeologists have been chasing whispers and deciphering clues from ancient texts, believing that uncovering this tomb could reveal artifacts of immense historical significance, perhaps even scrolls penned by Cleopatra herself. Some speculate the tomb could be an underground palace filled with treasures that surpass even those in King Tut's burial chamber. The very idea that beneath the shifting sands lies a sealed crypt holding the final secrets of these iconic lovers keeps the world watching Egypt with bated breath. Could the next spade of Earth finally unveil the hidden chapter of this epic saga? In our number 4 spot today, we have the tomb of Alexander the Great. Beneath the vibrant streets of modern Alexandria, whispers of a hidden tomb ignite the imaginations of archaeologists and treasure hunters. The lost resting place of Alexander the Great. After his death, it's said his body was brought back to Egypt, a land he admired and where he was proclaimed a pharaoh. Over centuries, the exact location of his tomb has been swallowed by time, earthquakes, and rising sea levels. Some speculate it could be concealed beneath ancient ruins or submerged under the harbor, waiting to unveil secrets of the Hellenistic era. Finding this tomb wouldn't just be an archaeological coup, it could potentially unearth artifacts or writings that reshape our understanding of history. The allure of unlocking such a monumental mystery keeps the world watching as each passing year holds the tantalizing possibility that Alexander's legendary tomb might finally be found. In our number 3 spot today, we have the underground chambers beneath the Sphinx. Deep beneath the stoic visage of the Great Sphinx on the Giza Plateau, tales of hidden chambers and secret tunnels abound. For centuries, locals and adventurers have whispered about what might lie beneath this ancient guardian of the pyramids. Geological surveys have revealed anomalies, unexplained voids and cavities that suggest the possibility of underground rooms or passageways. Some believe these spaces could house lost treasures or ancient texts detailing the mysteries of the pharaohs. Others speculate about connections to the mythical Hall of Records, a legendary repository of wisdom from a bygone era. The risk of damaging the Sphinx has kept these secrets locked away, as no confirmed entrances have been found to explore them. The allure of what might be concealed concealed beneath these colossal paws continues to captivate the world. Could unlocking these chambers alter our understanding of history itself? In our number 2 spot today, we have the burial chamber of Pharaoh Amenhotep I. Hidden somewhere within the winding corridors and secret chambers of the Valley of the Kings lies one of Egypt's most enduring mysteries, the lost burial chamber of Pharaoh Amenhotep I. Despite decades of tireless excavation and exploration, archaeologists have yet to uncover his final resting place. This pharaoh ruled during a transformative period of the 18th dynasty, and his untouched tomb could be a gold mine of ancient treasures and forgotten texts. Some believe it might contain scrolls that detail the earliest practices of mummification, or even maps to other undiscovered tombs. There's talk of hidden passageways sealed by elaborate traps designed to protect his legacy from tomb robbers of the past and the present. The allure of finding Amenhotep I's tomb isn't just about unearthing riches, it's about unlocking a pivotal chapter in Egyptian history that could redefine what we know about this ancient civilization. Could the next strike of the pickaxe finally reveal the secrets that have been buried for a millennia? And finally, in our number 1 spot today, we have the unopened tombs in the Valley of the Kings. Deep within the sun-baked cliffs of the Valley of the Kings in Luxor, several mysterious tombs lie untouched, sealed since ancient times. Detected by modern technology like ground-penetrating radar, these hidden chambers remain inaccessible due to unstable rock formations and the challenges they pose. Some archaeologists speculate that these tombs could belong to lesser-known pharaohs or influential nobles whose names have been lost to history. Others whisper about the possibility of secret cults or even undiscovered dynasties concealed within. The allure is irresistible. What if these unopened tombs house untold treasures, sacred artifacts, or scrolls that could rewrite our understanding of Egyptian civilization? Each day, the desert sands shift slightly as if guarding these secrets a little longer. The anticipation builds. Could the next archaeological breakthrough finally unlock these silent chambers and the mysteries that they hold?
First unexplained secret is kind of glaringly obvious. It's the secret of how all of these pyramids were built, but not just how, why. From Egypt to Mexico, the Sumerians to the Mayans and Aztecs, the way the pyramids were built is a highly debated topic amongst scientists, historians, and archaeologists alike. Some believe that the ancient civilizations moved stone blocks using waterways, or external ramps, or sledges, or ropes, or rollers, or levers. Some suggest exterior ramps that either zigzagged or spiraled around the pyramids, while some suggest internal ramps, while some completely reject the idea that man would have been capable of such a feat without the assistance of modern-day technology. I mean, even with modern-day tech and tools, the feat of creating structures that mimic the design and magnitude of great pyramids around the world would still be an incredibly difficult undertaking today. And of course, some people believe that aliens were involved in their construction, but like I said, we've heard this all before. What I don't really hear talked about much is why the pyramids were built in the first place. Well, again, there's really no way of knowing. Some people say they were built to reach the gods. Some say they were built to align with the stars or one another across the globe. Some people claim that they were built to harness the power of Earth's magnetic field. Some believe they were created to store ancient knowledge. And it has been said that the Aztec and Mayan pyramids might have been used for sacrificial reasons, and some people believe that the pyramids were built under the order of an ancient alien species known as the Anunnaki. For now, we really just don't know, but if you have a theory, or if you agree with one of these, let us know down below.
Pyramid of the Sun is one of the largest pyramids in the world, but it is not in Egypt. It's the largest of the pyramids in the ancient city of Teotihuacan in Mexico, and it's the 3rd largest pyramid in the entire world overall. It's huge, about 250 feet tall and 730 feet wide at its base. One of the big mysteries is, of course, who built it. Along with the rest of the city, people who built Teotihuacan didn't leave behind written records, so we don't really know much about them. We don't even know what they called themselves. The name Teotihuacan was given by the Aztecs, who discovered the city centuries later. It means the place where gods were born. And another mystery for this one is, of course, what Hannah mentioned: why was it built? Some think it was a temple dedicated to a sun god, hence the name, but that's just a guess. The pyramid was constructed around 200 AD, but it was abandoned by 750 AD for reasons we still don't really know. Inside the pyramid, archaeologists have found tunnels and chambers, but their purpose is still not clear. In 1971, a secret tunnel was found under the pyramid, leading to a cave, and some believe this cave might have been a sacred place of some sort. There's also the question of how they were built. The pyramid was constructed using millions of tons of volcanic rock without the help of modern tools, so it's really quite the feat.
Next up, we're bringing it back to Egypt to discuss the secret chamber that has been hidden within the Great Pyramid of Giza for 4,500 years. When the massive 150-meter, 490-foot pyramid was rediscovered in the 19th century, it was determined that it had been built for Pharaoh Khufu, the second pharaoh of the 4th dynasty in Egypt. When the pyramid was originally explored, only 3 chambers and a whole lot of empty space revealed themselves to the team working on mapping the discovery. In 2017, however, a new discovery came to light. Using advanced scanning equipment, a new team was able to find signs of a hidden chamber, and a massive one at that. Unfortunately, the team was not able to reach the chamber, as it appears as though it was filled and sealed during the construction of the Great Pyramid. There are no tunnels, no corridors, no entrances or exits to this room. It has been completely closed off to the world, meaning we have no way, as of right now, of knowing what's inside of it. Whatever it is, it seems like Pharaoh Khufu worked really hard to make sure it stays sealed inside of his pyramid with him forever, which of course just makes myself and many others all the more curious about what could possibly be hiding within this secret sealed chamber.
Next, we head to the Canary Islands with the Pyramids of Guimar. The Pyramids of Guimar and Tenerife, Spain, are a set of mysterious structures made entirely from volcanic lava stones stacked without mortar. Archaeologists haven't found any other signs of an ancient civilization in the area, so again, the mystery here is who built them and why. One theory by Thor Heyerdahl is that they could have been signs of a connection of some sort between Egypt and Central America. He thinks there could have been a link between them in ancient times. In 1991, researchers from the Canary Institute of Astrophysics found that some of the pyramids align with the solstices. The long sides of these structures point to the sunset on the summer solstice, and the stairs on the western side face the sunrise on the winter solstice. On the largest pyramid, if you stand on its platform during the summer solstice, you'll see a double sunset. The sun first sets behind one mountain, then reappears briefly before setting again behind another peak. So it's pretty cool, but they still don't know exactly why they were built or even when.
Next up, we're taking it back to Egypt to discuss a tunnel located not inside of, but underneath the Great Pyramid of Giza, all that it holds and all that it entails. While most pyramids, including the Great Pyramid of Giza, have tunnels that go throughout the interior of the structures connecting various chambers, the Great Pyramid of Giza just so happens to have one underneath it as well. Archaeologists were shocked when they discovered the presence of a tunnel not in, but as I said, beneath the pyramid during an expedition back in 2023. The tunnel is about 30 feet deep, 9 meters long, and while it sits close to the entrance of the pyramid, it is, as far as we are aware, not connected to any of the tunnel systems inside of the massive structure. The tunnel was discovered via ultrasonic radar testing, and while some scientists believe that it was dug in an attempt to optimize the weight distribution of the Great Pyramid, there is no definitive answer on what the tunnel is actually used for. However, if it was used to optimize weight distribution, that kind of opens a whole nother box of questions about the capabilities and the knowledge of ancient Egyptians.
The Nubian pyramids in Sudan. There are more than 200 of these pyramids built by the rulers of the ancient kingdom of Kush, which is around from about 2500 BC to 300 AD. The Nubian pyramids were built much later than the Egyptian ones. One of the big differences is their shape. I mean, looking at these, the Nubian pyramids are much steeper and narrower than the Egyptian ones. They often have small temples in front of them where people would make offerings to the dead. Another interesting thing is that these pyramids were built in clusters. The most famous sites are at Meroe, Nuri, and El Kuru. Meroe alone has around 40 of these pyramids, and it's one of the most impressive sites. So the purpose of these pyramids? Well, one of the uses is similar to the Egyptian ones. They were tombs for kings and queens, but unlike the Egyptians who buried their dead inside the pyramids, the Nubians would bury their dead in chambers below the pyramids. The Nubian pyramids aren't as well known as the Egyptian ones, of course. Might be because they're more remote, making them harder to visit, plus a lot of these ones were looted in ancient times, so there's fewer treasures and artifacts that have been left behind.
Let's talk a bit more about the Great Pyramid of Giza and how it is quite clearly connected with the stars. While the correlations between the pyramids and the cosmos are highly debated in mainstream science, there are truly just too many coincidences to ignore. For instance, the layout of the 3 pyramids of Giza mimicked the separation between the 3 stars of the constellation Orion's Belt, which is already pretty crazy, but it actually gets crazier because in the 1960s, there were 2 air shafts discovered in the Great Pyramid of Giza stemming from the King's Chamber, opening up on either side of the pyramid. But why would the dead need an air shaft? Simply put, they wouldn't, but what they might need is access to the heavens, a theory supported by the fact that the 2 shafts located in the pyramid point directly at where both the North Star on one side and Orion's Belt on the other would have sat in the sky at the time of the Great Pyramid's construction, which was also built to have all 4 of its corners align almost perfectly with north, south, east, and west. The whole thing is really just one big mystery. Researchers have spent countless hours pondering how ancient Egyptians were able to achieve such precise positioning. The only thing they could come up with is that the people who built the pyramids meticulously studied the sun, but as is with all of the other points on this list, as of right now, we really just don't know.
Next up, we have a mysterious structure found underwater that may or may not have been a natural formation. We've talked about underwater pyramids before. There's the Yonaguni Monument in Japan. There's all kinds of these. This one, though, in Portugal is one I've never heard of until today. So in 2013, an underwater pyramid was discovered by Diociliano Silva between 2 islands in Portugal. Silva stated that the pyramid is perfectly shaped and aligned, perfectly squared and lined up with the cardinal points, north, south, east, and west. The pyramid was found in a part of the mid-Atlantic that's been underwater for about 20,000 years though, and the oldest human civilization in the area didn't come about until about 17,000 years later. So which civilization, if any, could have built it before the area was submerged?
Next up, wow, you guys, I really hopped on the Giza train today, but to be honest with you, I'm not even sorry about it. The Great Pyramid of Giza is a fascinating ancient structure that contains the tomb of Pharaoh Khufu, air shafts leading to the stars, perfectly aligned corners, and also swivel doors. Bear with me. Believe it or not, the massive Great Pyramids were at one time equipped with massive 20-ton entrances that could be operated with a simple push from a single hand. Massive swivel doors were carefully crafted by ancient Egyptians to align with their openings so well they would almost disappear into the sides of the pyramids. These doors were also so perfectly balanced that all that was required to open them was a slight push using minimal force, the same force likely required to open a standard light wooden door today. How the Egyptians were able to achieve such an amazing feat is entirely unknown, not to mention how they got the doors there in the first place. They would have had to balance massive and extremely heavy stones used for the doors absolutely perfectly with absolutely no help from modern technology or mathematics. It sounds impossible, but of course somehow they did it and we do not know how. It's an unexplained mystery.
And of course, one of the biggest mysteries of ancient Egypt is the location of Cleopatra's tomb. But archaeologist Kathleen Martinez may have gotten closer to solving the mystery. A tunnel was found. A tunnel that may actually lead to her tomb. The discovery of the tunnel was made beneath the temple ruins of Taposiris Magna. The tunnel, which is being called a geometric miracle, was found 13 meters below the ground and spans an impressive 1,300 meters in length, carved into the sandstone of the area. As for what the tunnel was for, that's the exciting part. They're still not clear on it, especially since parts of it are submerged underwater. But Kathleen Martinez, the archaeologist leading the expedition, believes that this tunnel could be a huge lead in uncovering her tomb, which would be absolutely incredible. Taposiris Magna is believed to be dedicated to the gods Osiris and Isis. The archaeological teams found sculptures of Isis, they found coins depicting Cleopatra and Alexander the Great, and other artifacts at the site, like an entire burial ground filled with mummies. And of course, eventually they're gonna find out where this tunnel leads, so we'll just have to sit patiently and wait until then.
First up in our number 10 spot, we have construction technique. So I'm starting us off with one of the most widely known mysteries. How the heck were these things built? Although around 120 pyramids were built in ancient Egypt, there is a complete lack of records that explain how the pyramids were constructed. There are many theories, of course. Some believe the ancient Egyptians used a mixture of sleds and wet sand due to a painting in Khufu's tomb that shows men dragging a colossal statue on a sled while a person in front pours water onto the sand. Apparently, when the correct amount of water is used, it can increase the stiffness of the sand and reduce the friction between the object being dragged and the ground, making the object much easier to move. But even if that is exactly how they got the blocks to the site, how did they build the actual pyramid? Ramps are a common suggestion, but truth be told, it is just a theory and no one has been able to confirm once and for all exactly how they did it. That being said, the most entertaining theory, of course, is that aliens came down to Earth to help them, but until concrete evidence is found, the mystery endures. Moving on to number 9, the purpose of pyramids. While most historians can agree that the primary function of many of the pyramids was to serve as tombs for pharaohs, some researchers suggest that they may have had additional purposes. But what could these be? Well, some have theorized they were used as astronomical observatories or as power plants, while some even wonder if machines were somehow being used or created to harness natural energies. Of course, these theories remained completely speculative, but isn't it strange that after all this time, no one is able to say for certain the exact purpose of these colossal structures? Moving on to number 8. Queen Nefertiti. During the 18th dynasty of ancient Egypt, Nefertiti was the great royal wife of Pharaoh Akhenaten, recognized for her great beauty and respected for her immense power. Now, her and her husband were known for their radical overhaul of state religious policy, in which they promoted the earliest known form of single deity religion centered on the sun disk. And with her husband, she reigned at what was arguably the wealthiest period of ancient Egyptian history. However, for all her fame and glory in the history books, one thing still remains unanswered: her fate after 1330 BC. You see, despite her influence, her presence completely disappears from historical records after a certain point. And to make matters more mysterious, her tomb has never been found. Some have theorized that her tomb is hidden inside the pyramids, but if that is the case, no one can figure out why it would be hidden in the first place. So to this day, whether her tomb lies inside the ancient pyramids remains a mystery. Moving on to number 7, pyramid alignment. There are a lot of inexplicable things surrounding the elusive pyramids. As we already covered, one of the mysteries involves how they were constructed, and of course the ongoing conspiracy of alien involvement. However, another inexplicable mystery is the precise alignment they fall in. So essentially, the pyramids of Giza are perfectly aligned with the cardinal points, north, south, east, and west, with incredible accuracy. In fact, the alignment is so precise that it's difficult to explain how the ancient Egyptians achieved such precise orientation without modern technology. So many Egyptologists have of course wondered, was this alignment achieved by chance, or does it indicate an advanced understanding of astronomy? Could this be another mystery pointing towards alien involvement? Who knows? I mean, historians are probably not jumping to that conclusion, to be fair. But many have used this to back up their own theories about the extraterrestrial hand in the pie. Coming in at number 6, precision. Sort of along the lines of the mystery of construction and alignment is the precise measurements and geometry of the pyramids. Looking back, it is fascinating and a little mysterious to observe, as advanced mathematical knowledge would have to been required to achieve the level of precision shown in the pyramids. In comes the aliens. Again, we can't get away from them. There are countless speculations that the ancient Egyptians acquired this advanced knowledge from an alien species. And I mean, of course, there's no way to confirm this. But whether you believe the alien theory or not, the fact of the matter is that where and how they acquired this knowledge is still up for debate. Coming in at number 5. Why did they stop? So not only do historians question how the pyramids were built, but the other million-dollar question is, why did they stop? So the last royal pyramid was built around 1500 BCE, and afterwards, while wealthy individuals were occasionally buried in or near pyramids, pharaohs were instead buried in the Valley of Kings near Thebes. But what exactly caused the rulers of Egypt to abandon their practice of pyramid burials? We aren't totally sure. One theory is that religious changes around 1500 BCE began emphasizing building tombs underground in the bedrock rather than in pyramids. Another theory points out that because tomb robbing was a major issue, that there were far less chance that burials would be looted if they weren't placed in such conspicuous settings. Another theory put forward by engineer Peter James came after he discovered that the extreme temperature fluctuations of the Egyptian desert were causing the limestone to expand and contract, which in turn meant that the stone blocks began moving to the edges of the pyramid, which would force them to detach or break, taking the outer casing with them. He theorizes this disintegration likely happened while pyramid building was still occurring, and after spending so much time, money, and energy creating perfect monuments, this visible and rapid destruction of the perfection could have been one reason pharaohs abandoned them as burial monuments altogether. But again, it's just all speculation. Moving on to number 4, far away from home. In 2013, archaeologists in Israel found something they'd never expected to find so far away from Egypt: a 4,000-year-old Egyptian sphinx. Specifically, they found the paws of the statue, and it's believed the rest of it was deliberately destroyed thousands of years ago. But here's the thing: nobody knows what an Egyptian statue was doing in Israel. The only clue left behind is an inscription on the base that bears the name King Menkore, who was a pharaoh that ruled over Egypt around 2500 BC. Was it something that was handed over after a losing bet? We're not totally sure. It's highly unlikely that Tel Hazor Israel was conquered by the Egyptians, because at the time Tel Hazor was a trading hub in Canaan directly between Egypt and Babylon. This meant it would have been vital for the economy that the two biggest powers in the area remained on good terms. So a gift? Maybe, though it's not clear why King Menkore would have sent it or why anyone would have shattered it. All we really know is that for some reason there is a sphinx 1,000 kilometers away from the Great Sphinx of Giza. Moving on to number 3, mysterious cavities in the Pyramid of Khufu. In 2017, Scan Pyramids made a massive discovery inside the Pyramid of Khufu. With the aid of a non-invasive scanning technique that uses cosmic rays to produce 3D images, researchers discovered 2 previously unknown voids inside the pyramid, making them the first new spaces found inside the pyramid since the 19th century. But of the 2 voids, the larger one was particularly interesting. Not much is known about this larger chamber. It is apparently unlikely to be a burial chamber, but historians theorize it could be a second grand gallery, or more intriguingly, hold some of the secrets to the engineering and construction behind the pyramids. But truth be told, they have no clue why it's there or what its purpose would have been during ancient Egypt, as the Egyptians deliberately built the hidden chamber to be completely inaccessible. There are no corridors or pathways connected to it, and the only way they could have put anything inside is if they filled the chamber while they were building the pyramid, then sealed it up afterward. Were they trying to hide something? something? We may never know. Coming in at number 2, the Pyramid of Djudefre. Son of the pharaoh Khufu, Djudefre was Khufu's successor and ruled during the 4th dynasty of the Old Kingdom of Egypt. However, it is believed that Djudefre's reign was plagued by political and religious controversies, and that he wasn't Egypt's favorite ruler. Still, he, like his father, wanted his pyramid to have the highest point of any pyramid in Egypt. But there was one problem. He didn't have the resources to build the biggest pyramid. So, Djudefre used a little workaround to make sure the tip of his tomb was just a little bit taller than everybody else's, and built it on a hill. However, the mystery about this pyramid, compared to the others, is it's no longer standing. For some reason, while all the other pyramids of Egypt are still standing after thousands of years, Djudefre's pyramid has been totally destroyed, and all we are left with today is the base. Now, being a mystery and all, it's not entirely clear what's happened to it. Some think that Djudefre simply died before they were able to get much of the work done, and his pyramid was left in ruins. Another theory suggests that Romans quarried it for stones 2,000 years ago, and so it was simply torn down. And the most chaotic theory is that others think that the people of Egypt simply hated Djudefre so much that they were willing to pull apart an entire pyramid just out of spite. And last up in our number 1 spot, a mysterious queen. There are of course many tombs within the Great Pyramids of Egypt, and while they're all interesting in their own right, this one in particular is still puzzling historians and Egyptologists. In 2015, archaeologists stumbled upon the tomb of a woman who was buried among the Great Pyramids of the Old Kingdom of Egypt. In her tomb were inscriptions calling her both the wife and the mother of the king. Now, they were able to decipher a few things. This woman would have been alive 4,500 years ago and would have been one of the most important and powerful people on the planet at that time. So why have we never heard of her, and why can't we figure out who she was? Historians have dubbed her Kentekawes III under the assumption that she was the daughter of Queen Kentekawes II, and think she may have been the wife of the pharaoh Neferefre and the mother of the pharaoh Mekar. But again, they don't really know, they're just guessing. Whoever she was once an incredibly powerful woman, but today she is a little more than an enigma.